How was everybody's week? Did everybody have one of those Merry Christmassy thingies? I feel. Why do I look pale? I feel like I look pale. Do I look pale? I feel like I look pale. So, a couple of things before we get started. I have a sort of somewhat unboxing to do, and then I have a couple of messages, and then we'll get started. So I'm going to start with the unboxing. It's not unboxing of a card, it's unboxing of a gift that was given to me for Christmas. And I did open the box for Christmas, but I haven't opened anything else inside of it. So we're going to do that now. So, it came in from the wonderful people of Amazon. And it is from the wonderful Miss Charmaine of Charmaine's Adventures and More. And she's in the chat today, so my big shout out and ever so gracious thank you to Miss Charmaine. So this is what came in for me, and I was totally shocked because I wasn't expecting anything from anybody, like realistically, and to my surprise, I had gotten something in the mail, and I was like, what is this? And Fluff was like, that's for you. And I was like, well, of course it is. It has my name on it, but what is it? It is not something I have ordered. So he just looked at me and was like, you should open it. And I did, and I found out it was from the amazing Miss Charmaine. So one of the first things that was in the box was this awesome tarot journal, which is really cool. She totally like snuck her way onto my Amazon wish list, which for those of you who aren't familiar, yes, I do have an Amazon wish list. The way I use it is I have it where when people couldn't necessarily afford a reading from me, they went onto my wish list and they purchased a deck. And when they purchased a deck, I gave them a free reading from that particular deck. So I told them, pick a deck that resonates with you, and when the deck arrives, we'll schedule you a reading, and you'll be the first person I read from that deck. So it was a way of kind of helping people be able to have a reading, and the takeaway was I was, to be able to keep this deck and use it on future readings. So it worked out pretty well. So that's why I have this wish list. And Fluff went and shared it around, so some people bought stuff from it. And the second thing she got for me was the tarot for kids. The reason this is on my wish list was because I have daughters and they're heavily into the tarot, and my daughters enjoy it as a lot, but this is a fairly new deck that was just released, I believe, within this year, and the creator I follow on Twitter and stuff, and I've always just kind of wanted to check it out and see what it's like, so I can see if it was on my recommend type list or things like that. So thank you so much for that one. The next one is the Magic of Unicorns Oracle deck. That was very sweet of her to get me that one as well. A lot of people resonate with the fairy tale, mythological type of oracle deck, so I like to keep a few of those on hand. Next was the Angel Answers Oracle. This used to be a collaborative deck by another person along with Radley Valentine, but that person no longer does anything with tarot, has completely written it out of their life, and she has decided that tarot and oracles sacrilegious and bad and all this other stuff. So we no longer she doesn't associate with it, so decks have been redone, and it is now something that she has taken her name off of when she did collaborative works, and they've been re-released. So I have the re-release of it, and I had gotten rid of the original version because I didn't stand beside her opinion on what she was doing or how she portrayed it. I didn't think that was completely accurate of her. Great, she went on to do other stuff, but at the same time, it's like, don't denounce other people that follow things and use them in their practices just because they contrast what you now believe. So next, and the last thing in the box, was the Shadows of Light Oracle. So cute. And I will be able to do open and first opinion and reviews on these in the future. I have a ton of decks that need that treatment for me to do a first impressions and unboxing and all of that. And the other day I went through my tarot shelf, which is, it's on its last leg. It's not going to hold anymore. I've archived some of my really old stuff and put them in boxes. They are currently in my shed, but those are ones that I had went through and said I really wanted to keep and things like that, and I wasn't going to be using anymore because they were kind of old and I didn't want to ruin them. And so now I have my newer stuff, and I am really behind on unboxing and first impressions on, I'd say, a good 70 decks. No joke. So I have, if I could literally read every week for the next year and use a different deck and not have to worry about using another deck. I could totally do that for quite some time. And so I need to get a move on that. The holidays were very hectic. Fluff starting a new position that required him to be a Monday through Friday type job, and 40, 50 hours a week. So it was getting him into the swing of that. Normally he would have been more at home from his previous job. He was more at home and was able to do more. They switched that to more of an in-person thing. So yes, you noticed. I was gonna shout it out in just a minute. I was trying to hide it, but I didn't hide very well. So with him transitioning, holidays and everything else, and my daughter's going through finals and stuff like that, it was, my hair is bugging the nuts out of me. Anyway, yeah. I'm not gonna touch my hair, I promise. He, like, with all that going on, it was hectic. I didn't even get to finish my individual signs for the month of December. Last night just completely scrapped the idea of even continuing. I didn't finish them. So Aries and Taurus, you were the only one who got a reading from last month. Consider yourselves very lucky on that. So I'm just going to start doing the January readings and then trying to keep up from there. It's been hectic with this channel. It's also been hectic with Fluff's channel, and just trying to get into a better groove and time management with everything else. Plus we had some, losses go on, and it just kind of dimmed things for a little bit in the middle of the month. And we were just, like I said, trying to fit into a groove that worked. And yeah, so that's what happened with those readings. So this month, in January, you will be getting your individual signed readings. I promise you that. I will make it a point. I'm actually probably going to start filming some tonight, so I can have some up for the new year, and then that way I won't be behind. But with that being said, the next thing that I will say is, with the onset of trolls, if you must act like a candy ass and throw your little weight around and do the boo-hoo dance all over anyone's channels, mine, Fluff's, or anybody else's, we are going to put you what's called in the candy ass corner. Meaning you will just be blocked, you will just be timed out like the little cutie pie that you are and throwing your little temper tantrum. You will just be clicked on and you will move along. I don't have time for you. I do what I do, not for me. I do it for people that appreciate it. If you don't appreciate it, don't show the hell up over here. I don't need your damn view. Nobody else does either. We thank you for them because that's basically all we're getting out of you, and some entertainment. But if you don't care for me, you don't care for anything I do, please move along. Like, go find something else. Like, isn't there a Baby Shark review somewhere that you can be a part of, since you have to act like a toddler all the time? Or isn't there some, like, weird, like, Ponytown thing somewhere that you can get involved in? Go do that. Stop playing around on people's channels. We have far better things to do. We don't show up on yours and, like, sit there and throw our dirty diapers at you. No, we don't do that because we're adults. So if you would like to go do that, take your sorry ass and move onward, okay? The fact that you have to be on someone else's channel and pull your little bullshit speaks volumes about you, says very little about the channel. So do that someplace else, someplace where somebody cares, okay? Go back to your mommy. She might give a shit. I don't. My fiance does not. The people I associate with on a daily basis on YouTube do not care what your problem is. If you want to join along and have a great time, welcome. If you don't and you want to act like a little shit, go back to kindergarten. Enough said. On we go. So this week's deck it's an oldie but goodie. It's my Ethereal Visions deck. And what's cool about this deck is it comes with the standard cards, and then it comes with a couple of extras, but I do pull them from the deck because I don't technically read with them that often. But there are moments where I throw them in. It just won't be today, but I do want to show them. It's the Well and the Arise. And I want to believe that this, like, if my memory serves me correctly, like I said, I don't use them that often. This one has to do with ascension, and this one has to do with more grounding. So they're kind of like a yin and yang type thing. So I don't use them that often because it tends to confuse people. There are cards in this deck that are pretty close hand in hand with those, but I don't need them. So there you go. And my wonderful moderators, you happy people in blue, if anybody comes in and pops off any ounce of negativity whatsoever, you know what to do. You don't have to ask me a single question, and I back you up to the utmost degree. You just go ahead and time out and slap people around. I don't care. People want to act like little babies, and you can smack them in the butt. On we go with Aries. What's cool about this deck is it has gold foil and gold leafing, whatever you want to call it. It's really pretty. It's no trade secret that I'm a huge fan of the movie Labyrinth and Brian Froud art and stuff like that. And when I had got this deck, it was the closest I could come to something that even carried the light to that tone of that Freudian type art and that kind of mythical, I don't know, it was that tone that it gave, and then it had the gold and everything, and I thought it was super duper pretty. It was the closest I could come to that style, so it was my Labyrinth for a hot minute too. And now that the Labyrinth Tarot has been released, I now officially have a Labyrinth Tarot, and I also have the Brian Froud Oracle that he and Limited did. And I do love both of those decks, but I will always have my little partialness to this. I got this one during the pandemic when it first hit, and you couldn't like go anywhere and buy anything. You had to like order everything off of like Amazon and stuff. And what sucked about Amazon with tarot decks is because they were kind of like Wish.com a little bit, in the sense that sometimes you were getting knockoffs instead of the real deal. So one of the places I loved going to was Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble had amazing deck options, and sometimes if you're lucky, which recently I became lucky, if they're releasing something or pre-ordering something and they're having a hard time with releasing it, like the dates getting pushed back, which recently just happened with my Alice in Wonderland deck. I had ordered it 6 months ago, pre-ordered it, and it was supposed to be delivered in September. Then it was October, then it was November, then it was December, and now it's February. Barnes & Noble's had it, so I went ahead and ordered it, and I'm going to go pick it up tomorrow. So there are times where Barnes & Noble kind of helps me out a little bit, plus if you have their membership club, you save like 20%. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I ended up getting this deck through Barnes & Noble when you could just like show up and pick it up through like the curbside. And I was so excited to be able to get this one because it was pretty. Alright, I think we've gotten enough energy into that. Let's start with Aries. What New Year's message do we have for Aries? Stuff that's just based on this new year. So New Year's Eve coming into the new year. I'm going to move those cards out of the way so they don't confuse me. So for Aries, what I'm getting right here is you've got the Three of Wands in reverse. So you're not really looking into the future a whole lot. You're not kind of going against the wind at all. You've got the Five of Wands in reverse as well. So you're not, and you've got the Nine of Cups right here as well. So you've kind of had this, like, you've got plans, but you're not really worried about where those plans go or how they fit into play yet. Bottom of the deck energy, you have the Moon in reverse. So the Moon card, remember, I often associate with, figuring things out. When it's in the upright, it's like, things coming into light, secrets being revealed, things like that. When it's in reverse, you're kind of keeping things secretive. So you're not really interested in letting people know what your motives are. You're not really interested in letting people know, like, what you've got going on or what your plans are, which is kind of good. There is a lot to be learned about a person who doesn't have to tell everybody everything. So right now you're like, you know what, I'm looking into the future, but I'm not really, like, focusing on the future. I think right now you're focusing on what makes you content. You've got the Nine of Cups right here. You're not too worried in one direction versus the next. You're kind of like, I've got plans, but I'm not really, like, you're not pushing the gas on them, but you are. Like, you have the map, you know where you're going, but you're kind of just coasting, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Looks to me like you've got some plans with involving work, your workload. You got the Ace of Swords in the upright. The Ace of Swords, and I apologize if the ring light's making it difficult to see these. You're just gonna have to take my word for some of them. The artwork is kind of pale on some of these, and all you're kind of seeing is, like, the foiling. Now, the Ace of Swords, when it's in the upright, some people read this as telling the truth on something. It's an ace, so it's obviously a new beginning. It also is an air, driven by the air signs because it is a sword. So when I see this card in the upright, it could mean truth, figuring things out, being like, okay, now I understand, now I know. But to me, this is an opportunity. This is something that you're like, aha. And that's what this card represents to me, is that aha moment. Along with the Seven of Pentacles, which in the upright, it's like, looking back, seeing all, your work coming to fruition and everything, and being proud of your work. Right now you have it in the reverse, so I think what this is telling me is, you have discovered something that's actually going to lighten your workload. Like, you're going to be working smarter, not harder. That type of vibration. And you're really not telling a whole lot of people about it, and there's probably a good reason for that. You're feeling pretty good about it. And I think the reason that you don't want to tell everybody about it is because you know that people like to sabotage when they have too much information. That's why it's kind of a good thing not to tell or make public everything that you've got going on until it's already done. Until you've already got it where you need it to be. And that's one of the things that's a philosophy I very much follow. I don't go around telling people a whole lot of anything unless I'm extremely close to you, until it's kind of like a 99.9% thing. So let's figure out why we're keeping it a secret. We're keeping it a secret. Okay. Right now you're not quite sure how, you're going to get it done. You're not quite sure the way that you need to be doing it. Maybe you don't have all the tools yet. You don't have all the backing, all the startup, but it's coming. So you've got the Wheel of Fortune right here, meaning, like, it is a good endeavor. You are well on your way, but you also have the Magician in reverse, and you have the Tower card. So maybe it's something to do with you needing to rebuild upon something, replenish some finances, things like that. Maybe you're waiting for that type of startup. If that is the case, that is going to come through for you. But like I said, it's going to come in its timing. The Tower card, a lot of people are like, oh, that's disaster, that's chaos, blah, blah, blah. No, it could be, rebuilding upon a foundation that has fallen. And, it's going to be a road. It's going to be a travel. Anytime you're starting up a new business endeavor, anything like that, it is going to require some work. You're going to have some pitfalls. You're going to have things that don't come into play, like, nothing manifests in the business world smoothly 100%. And if it did, I promise you this much in the future, that you are going to figure out why it came in so smoothly, because those, rocky ridges will show up eventually. And that's just the way it is. Everything, work isn't always hard. Work is just plentiful usually, and you know, you'll have a lot of stuff that you have to like be heavily involved in, and that's what I'm seeing from this is just you need to watch over what's going on. If you're doing this by yourself, you need to watch where each penny is going, where each penny is coming from. You need to have your eye on things. Don't get so cocky that you're like, oh no, I know exactly what I'm doing, or I know exactly, you know, how this is going to happen. I want you to keep your eye open. I don't want you to get so cocky with this that you're like, nah, I'm good. Like, keep your eye open. Don't miss those opportunities, things like that. So, Five of Pentacles in the reverse. You know, don't, like I said, don't be the type of person who's like, I don't need anybody to do this. You know, ask questions, you know, figure things out. One hair is totally bugging me. Okay, ask questions, you know, get opinions. Opinions are good. You know, it's not something that, you know, even if you don't agree with somebody's opinion, that doesn't mean you shouldn't hear it out. You shouldn't hear out the way somebody has done something. Even if you're like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it that way. That's fine. That's fine. You know, you're still going to gain some value and knowledge off of the way they did it, even if you don't take it and do it their way. Okay? So just keep yourself open. Keep yourself aware. Be woke. Don't sit there and, you know, complain about, you know, don't sit there and complain, but, you know, about the process or anything like that, but don't get so complacent either. Okay? Does that make sense? Hopefully it did. Because there's a lot of good that can come here, but there's a lot of, I get a lot of that Aries energy of, you know, I know what I'm doing, don't worry about me, and you're so recluse in it and not letting things in that you could even like miss that opportunity because you're like, I know what I'm doing and I have it penciled in a specific way, and if it doesn't come in that way, it's not meant for me. You know, not every package comes in the way we want it to, and that doesn't mean it's not meant for us. Okay? Alrighty, Taurus. That was kind of a jumbled up message, Aries, and I hope you understood it. But that is a kind of a cool way to kind of start the new year, is trying to be successful in your own business. So I like that. Did you guys see the backs of these cards? They're kind of cool too, huh? Alrighty. Taurus. Messages for Taurus for the new year. That one kind of like flew up in the air, so we'll go ahead and take it. Alright, Taurus. You got the Magician in reverse, Justice in reverse, Ten of Cups in reverse, Four of Swords in the upright, Seven of Pentacles in the upright, Judgment, King of Swords, Two of Wands in the upright is your underlying energy. So definitely looking into your future is something that this whole entire reading is based upon. With that Two of Wands energy is like, you're looking down, you're kind of like, in this card, he's looking down, he's seeing the ocean, he's watching things come in. So you're kind of just observing. You're in a state of like, you know, I want to see what my possibilities are, what might be coming my way. So Magician in reverse. We've talked about the Magician in reverse in previous readings, but we'll go ahead and touch base on it once again. When the Magician's in the upright, he's got everything in order. He knows how to control things. He's got a very strong sense of, you know, what's coming, what's going. He's in control of a lot of things. He's manifesting. He's making things happen. In the reverse, he's still doing that. He's just doing it in possibly a less stellar way. He's doing it in the way that would be a little bit more menacing, if I dare can call it that. But cynical is a good way to put it sometimes, where it's less of like, oh, I'm just letting, you know, the universe do its thing and I'm totally understanding and I'm totally walking in that light. Sometimes he could be like, you know what, the universe works too slow. You know, when's it my turn? When's it this? When's it that? Why isn't this working? You know, it's a very cynical approach to this. Um, Justice in reverse, next to the Magician in reverse, talking about things not being fair, or the reason that you're doing actions that you're doing or having this cynicism is because you kind of feel like, you know, things have been off balance for you. You know, it's never, you're trying to be positive, but negative keeps coming no matter how positive you try to be. Things like that. When I see the Ten of Cups in reverse at the center of your read, that's why I'm referring to, you know, sitting there complaining about happiness not showing up. Um, Ten of Cups in reverse. When it's in the upright, that is complete and utter emotional fulfillment. You don't need anything else. Everything's where you need it to be or how it should be. You're not wanting, you're not needing. When it is in the reverse, quite the opposite. You know, you have a longing. You don't feel fulfilled. You are more ridden. You're not ridden of your void. You're more, you know, in the sense of void than you are fulfilled. Four of Swords, where you're sitting there in that energy of, you know, I'm trying to accept. I'm trying to relax my way through this, or trying to gain something or get comfortable in the sense that maybe I'm not meant to be happy. And I hate to break it to you, but happiness isn't found in other people, places, or things. It starts within us and it ends within us. So don't go to bed at night every night saying, well, tomorrow's just going to be the same shit show it was today, and nothing's ever going to change, and you know, it's always going to be this way because my life sucks. You know, that's the type of energy I'm getting from this. And we can even be that way without being fully aware of it. I'm just speaking it in a more verbose sense. But sometimes it's not even the things that comes out of our mouth, it's the actions that we produce in our day-to-day life. Sometimes we can make the simple comment of like, well, you know, I'm alone because I'm alone. You know, and we go to accepting it, but we're not really accepting it. Who doesn't want to be happy at the end of the day? That type of thing, you know? Don't sit there and, you know, like I said, don't go to bed accepting don't go to bed accepting these types of emotions, okay? You're stronger than that. I think you know better with this Four of Swords energy. You know, you're not defeated. You're not, you know, God didn't forget about you, that type of thing, okay? You've had a lot of hardships, I ain't gonna lie on that one. There's some heavy energy right there, but you work really hard. You know, you have the Seven of Pentacles right here. You know you're worthy. You know you have good worth. You really do. You know you have a lot to bring to your work. You have a lot of work ethic to bring to your job. You know you have a lot to bring into relationships, whether they be romantic or platonic. You know, you have something there. And with this Judgment in the upright and the King of Swords, in the upright, what I'm really truly getting from this is you need to come into that sense of like you have a wisdom, an upper wisdom. And I need to see, I don't need to see, but what needs to be seen is you gravitating towards people that carry the same philosophies in life as you do. Now that easier said than done. It's actually finding the people. That sounds great, doesn't it? But it's hard to find sometimes when you are a person who has such a strong mind. It's hard to find people like that, okay, that actually not so much mimic it, but, you know, or share space with it, but can understand it. Having a strong mind and a strong opinion and things like that, we tend to be told that we're bitchy, or you're an ass, or you're any number of things, but, you know, we're not allowed to be strong. We're not allowed to be so strong that we can discredit somebody or anything like that. I get a lot of grief from people that say like, you know, oh, you're so opinionated and you don't let anybody else's opinion through. That is not true. Everybody's opinion matters to me, even if I don't agree with your opinion, even if I don't want to share space with your opinion. I value the fact that you can have one, and I want everyone to have one. It is also in my realm to not, you know, carry your opinion, and that's okay too. You should be able to respect me not carrying your opinion. You know what I mean? But when we're so strong-minded, that does not mean we don't have hearts. You know, that does not mean that we're not fragile within. Having a strong mind, being a strong person, oftentimes sucks. Nobody should have to be so strong all the time. And that's what I hear often is, I'm tired of being strong. Why do I have to be so strong? I keep getting a bunch of shit because I'm so strong. You know, the universe makes warriors out of all of us. And some of the warriors have different things that they go to battle for. Some of us go to battles that are very, very heavy emotionally. Some of us go to battles that are very heavy physically. We all have different wars that we are a true, strong soldier for. And sometimes, Taurus, right now, it's just your battles are really strong in your head. And right now, the judgment call that I see you making is you're going to be very cutthroat about things. You're not going to sit there and entertain a lot of bullshit for much longer. This new year is bringing to you new opportunities, and they may not be the opportunities that you anticipate, okay, but they are going to come forward. And those type of opportunities can be very contrary to the ones that you were hoping to. So sometimes we expect new love, but we ended up getting a new job. But don't think that, like I said, don't think the universe has turned its back to you. That new love could be at that new job. So don't do an about face and sit there and be like, no, I don't want to take that new job because my heart's kind of in this place and I want this and I want to be available for this. Be available for it because the universe has a plan. Things have its plan, and it's methodologically bringing things into your world that way. So one of the things that I tell people I hate about the tarot is what I love about the tarot is it's actually going to tell you what's coming forward for you. I love that and I hate it because when it lays it out for us and we decide, okay, the tarot told me I'm going to be in a new relationship because it's right there. It was undeniable. A new relationship was coming. A lot of people assume it means a romantic partner. That doesn't always mean a romantic partner. Sometimes a new relationship could be a new hobby. But you're like, I'm really looking for love. I'm open to love and everything. Okay, it's be open passionately. This new hobby is going to teach you something about you. That way you can open up more. So when that new love comes in, maybe they share that hobby. Maybe they share what you've learned from having that hobby. We can't unalign ourselves with what is to be in alignment for the things that we're asking for. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. It's something that it's easy to learn, but it's extremely hard to practice. When somebody told me, when I was going through my divorce, that, I was, all I wanted to do was be cared about. That was the big thing that I wanted, was to be cared about, that have my opinion mattered. I came out of a severely abusive, mentally and physically abusive relationship, and I just wanted to be cared about. I had to unlearn behaviors that I learned in that relationship, my self-defense mechanisms. I was learning how to lie, repeatedly lie, just to save myself. I was learning how to be so super submissive and so, just, it was all defense. It was all to keep me in survival mode. And in order to find new love, find somebody to care about me. Because that's what I was asking for. I wasn't exactly asking for new love. I was asking to be cared about for myself. I had to unlearn the things that weren't mine to keep, which was all these weird mental and emotional survival tactics. So when we're wanting to be loved, we have to be lovable. And for, anything, when we want something, we have to be in alignment for that. We have to be at the vibrational level for that. So if you're like, I want this, $50,000 a year paying job, $100,000 a year paying job, you need to vibrate at the $100,000 a year job. Don't vibrate at $25,000 a year, okay? Don't sit there and downplay yourself, say, I'm not successful, I'm not good enough. This $100,000 your person isn't saying that. They're saying, I'm good enough for what I've got, and I'm going to continue to do it. And all you have to do is literally train yourself to say, I don't sit at 25 grand a year. I'm 200,000, because guess what? You aim for the moon, you will land amongst the stars. So if you say I'm 200,000 and you meet halfway, you'll get to that 100,000, right? So that's what I'm telling you, is realign yourself. It's hard. It's not impossible, but it is hard to learn things, and then allow yourself to relearn something. So that's what I'm getting a lot from this Taurus, is the judgment call that you need to make within yourself is to be in and of yourself. Unapologetically you, yes, but learn from these past things. Learn what that realignment process is, and saying to yourself, yeah, I had some shitty shit happen to me in the past, but I am not shitty shit. It's just what happened to me. Those are things that we've done. They are not who we are. Okay? If you've lied, cheated, steal, done whatever the hell you've done in the past, that's just stuff you've done. It is not who you are. Okay? You can be whatever you wish to be at any time you wish to be it. And, you know, we have to remember, one of the things I used to tell my daughters when they were younger was, Walt Disney came up with everything he came up with sitting under a tree, thinking about a mouse. That's where he started, okay? And then he started doing pen and ink for a newspaper comic strip, and he built his empire from there. At one point, everybody who was a successful genius started out as something that sat in mommy's fallopian tube, okay? That's how it starts. So if that can happen, why can't you happen? Why can't your dreams manifest? Why can't your greatest good come into play? And once you've realigned with that Taurus, that's when you're unstoppable. That's when the universe says, checkmate, it's your turn. Okay? It's not your time to turn down, but it's your time to go to the next level. And that's definitely what is the next step for you to manifest your greater goals. Okay? On we go to our wonderful Geminis. Alright, Taurus, hopefully that message came through. And you, I won't say work on yourself, because Taurus, you are ever working on yourself, as we all are. It's not a one trick pony event. It is literally something that happens every single day, every hour, every minute, every second, is us trying to either make the better of a situation, or, you know, not. But at any moment you can flip your switch and say, oh, I'm not going to think that way. I'm not giving anything that energy or that precedence over me. I'm going to continue, you know, faking it until I make it, at least. You know, if you're not feeling good, try to feel good. Put on happier music. Put on a funny movie. Raise your vibration. You don't have to stay stuck in the emotions that you're used to. The bend and stretch is painful for a reason sometimes. All right, Gemini. What messages do we have for you for the incoming new year? Two of Pentacles, so balancing is your underlying message. You are learning balance, okay? Or you're bringing in balance into the new year, one of the two. You got right off the top, you have the Death card in reverse. So, let's see. Six of Swords, Three of Pentacles, the Fool in reverse, Nine of Pentacles. Whatever was bringing you down, or whatever wasn't letting you evolve in the last years, whatever, you're still working on it. You're still working on it coming into this year. So you're not going to have this boom moment of like total and utter like new year, new you. Okay, that's not how I see this opening up, Gemini. What I see this is there's some old energy with this Death in reverse card, meaning that the transition hasn't fully happened yet. You know, we haven't had that change in the wind, okay? We haven't had that new beginning yet. You got that Six of Swords in reverse, so you're not walking away from anything yet. Whatever it is, that old residual energy, you're still working through it. Three of Pentacles. This one you might want to get assistance with, or you are getting assistance with it, whatever the case may be. If it's something to do with, you know, you're dealing with past trauma and past wounds, maybe this year is the year that you come into finding somebody in a therapeutic setting that works for you, or therapeutic type attributes that works for you. Some people find that, you know, they're getting into hobbies that are more constructive for them, and that itself is being therapeutic for them. With the Fool in reverse, it's not something new. This isn't your first rodeo with whatever it is that you've used or are going to be using. So it could be, I'm going back to therapy this year. I'm going to handle all those past traumas. I'm actually going to, you know, realign with things that are healthier, you know, best supportive, and, you know, help me manifest my greater good. I'm going to get in tune with those things, whatever the case may be. Whatever it is that's has made you in the past more aware, more aligned, you know, a more productive self, that's what you're going to be coming into more than anything. And with this Nine of Pentacles energy, it's definitely going to catapult you through whatever it is that's been holding you back. So like I said, you've got the Two of Pentacles as the underlying energy, so balance. You're learning to rebalance out what has been, you know, weighing you down, holding you back, or anything like that. With the Three of Pentacles, it is something that you're going to have in cohesion. It's going to be with health partnerships, group setting, things like that. So if this is something that, you know, you have found yourself, I was in therapy, and then with all that's been going on with the pandemic and everything, and I wasn't able to use it, go to therapy or use it as much as I needed to, and now you will be able to, and it's actually going to be a stronger benefit to you. If this is something like, you know, hey, maybe you used to go kayaking and that was what worked for you, maybe now you're able to get back into that. So it's not as black and white as, oh, now I'm going to be in therapy. Like I said, therapeutic measures, think of what worked for you, get back into that, because it's actually, you know, going to realign you, and possibly not even just realign you, but actually bring out a more successful and substantial you. Let me clarify that Three of Pentacles just to kind of give us a better idea. So, Justice in reverse, King of Pentacles in reverse, Two of Swords in reverse, and the King of Swords in reverse popped out with that. So, you've had a rough and tumblesome past coming into this year. And like I said, though, even in the Taurus reading, with that, you know, certain cards being in reverse, feeling unfair, something, you know, there is some residual past energy that you just haven't resolved, and you really need to. The time has come for it. It really has come for it. And the King of Pentacles in reverse, you know, there's some authority figures in your life that you might need to get away from. Okay, Gemini, I've got there's been some dominant, nasty energy that has put you down and has not been for your greater good. And you've been trying to move on from it. You've been trying to do things with this King of Cups energy underneath, is you've been trying to be more sound and secure with your own emotions, but there's a lot of people that tend to bring you down, slap around those insecurities on you a little bit to the point where it hurts. And you kind of just sit there and you take it and you try to like deflect it as it comes in. And that can be very, very hard. You know, that can be very, very draining. And being in, like I said, with myself, you know, when you're in that sense of self-defense and self-preservation, we're not living our greater good. We're just literally living to hold up a shield so we don't get hit. And that's where all this is really kind of stemming from. And in your past, the things that you've tried, like maybe certain therapists, if you're attempting therapy, the ones in the past weren't helping. But you are going to come into one that does. All right, one that does really align with you. So don't give up hope. There is not hope lost for you. There's never hope lost for anybody, but there's definitely not hope lost in something that can definitely help overall if you find the right person, find the right thing, whatever it is. Okay, so what didn't work in the past, and I get it, you've come to a point where you're like, it's just not going to work, it's not going to work. Give yourself that one chance to find the right fit, and it will most definitely work. You've got the Nine of Pentacles right here to prove it. Okay, Gemini, so you are going to realign. So should you choose. You could hear this reading and decide she's full of shit, she has no idea what she's talking about. But watch when these things manifest and show up in your world. And if you want to sit there and turn your face to it, yeah, of course, you're going to still continue on the same path that you've always been on. I'm going to end up being wrong because you decided to make me wrong. Because you have the free will that said, no, I'm not going to make that appointment. I am not going to check out this new therapist, even though somebody recommended them to me. I'm not going to do the work. And if you don't do the work, nothing manifests. So it is your choice. It is your decision. You don't have to go right. When I say go right, you can definitely go left. You have the free will to do so. But when you go left and nothing changes and nothing feels good and you keep repeating the same vicious cycles over and over and over again, don't come back and say, I'm wrong. Go look in the mirror and say, what am I doing to have this type of stuff keep reoccurring in my life? Because you are the common denominator, not me. All right, moving along to Cancer. I'm sorry, Gemini, but sometimes we have to be told the hard way, okay? We have to be told when we're not being the right person for ourselves. We don't grow from being told we're amazing all the time. That's toxic positivity. Imagine being told every day, you are perfect, you don't have to do anything, you never have to take a shower, you don't have to trim your nails, you don't have to do nothing because you are perfect, you are perfect, you are perfect. You know what what happens to that person is they end up with long nails, funky junk, and they end up becoming very self-absorbed because they don't need anything. They're perfect. They're so, so perfect. Okay? We can promote toxic positivity just as much as we can promote negativity. Okay? So when you tell somebody, look, sis, go wash your hair, go trim your nails, go do some good stuff in this world, promote yourself a little bit, be a good person once in a while. There's nothing wrong with telling somebody that, they're just way too into themselves. Ascension is not easy, and sometimes it is not fun. Just like when I tell Fluff, you smell. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's sometimes you smell good. But sometimes you smell bad. And that means you have to take a shower. Because I don't want you to smell yourself. He's just sitting there looking at his phone, being an amazing moderator, and I'm teasing him. It's an inside joke. I always tell Fluff he smells, but I never tell him he smells bad. Do I tell you smell bad, babe? They can't see you, so you have to speak out loud.
Oh, no.
No? I don't tell you you smell bad?
No.
What do I tell you? You stink?
Yeah.
Can you time out that PLE guy? Because he's trying to be bad. He just said it. I saw it. He said he's trying to be bad. Time him out. Put baby in the corner. Actually, as a matter of fact, didn't I unsubscribe to him today? Just kidding. If you have not yet subscribed to Mr. Past Life Explorer, you should do so. Because he has this really cute fiance. And she's funny, and you should watch it because she's funny. I'm just kidding. You should watch it because this stuff's really interesting. His fiance is a cutie, though. I love Shani, too. And if you have not subscribed to Shani's Unexplainable Adventures, you should do so as well. Alrighty. Cancer. messages for Cancer for the new year. Two more. Cancer's readings being stuck. We're taking that card. Alrighty. So you've got the underlying energy magician in the upright. So you're making things work for you. You're working smarter, not harder. You're getting a control and grip and putting good out, getting good in, and all that. So Queen of Wands, feeling good about yourself. Feeling good about yourself. That's awesome. Fiery energy. Very, I feel good. I look good. You might be heading into this new year after spending a year really working on yourself physically. Maybe you had, you've been hitting up the gym really good, you're trying to get out of that pandemic body, anything like that. Gyms being open up, maybe you're like, nope, I've been taking time off, really doing stuff for me. That's awesome too. Page of Wands to the Ace of Wands. And you've got like all wands here. Dang, I wish I could show you this, which I will. I'm keeping something so I can do that, where I can actually show you guys the cards. So, Queen of Wands. Page of Wands. Ace of Wands, but in the reverse. Six of Wands. And the Knight of Wands in the reverse. The only thing is the Magician, but he holds a wand, so he's all elements. Well, congratulations, Laura. I know I'm not supposed to be looking at the chat, but I did see that. So you could be dealing with a fire element, in your life, but lots of really fast, repetitious movement. Like you are on fire. So look at it like that, not like Michael Jackson's hair, but movement. Yes, I said that. Anyway, Page of Wands. Okay, so you're going into things kind of... you're going into things with a lot of fire, but you're giving him kind of like half-ass energy, okay? Because that's what the Page of Wands is. He's very fiery, but he's kind of like, okay, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. And Ace of Wands in the reverse, like there's not a lot of strong opportunities coming forward, or they're not coming as fast as you want them. So you're deviating from things because they're not coming in as quickly as you want or need. Okay, so if it doesn't come in as fast, you kind of lose interest. With that Six of Wands right now, you're kind of like living in this very like. You're kind of putting everything in, you're like, chuck it in the fuck it bucket. Like, that's kind of your mentality. If it ain't working for you, you're kind of like, fuck it. So, everything is like, if it don't make me feel good, it doesn't serve me, da-da-da-da-da-da, that mentality. Alright? So, Cancer, fire and tenacity and energy and everything, great. But, fire burns. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. Too much fire isn't a good thing. It's hard to control. It's hard to, it's hard to make anything out of it. Yeah, unless you're going for the whole scorched earth thing and you don't care and you just want everything to burn down. So, with this, it's, this is giving me that, energy of like, all right, I get where you're coming from, sis. I understand. And you're in the business of making stuff happen right now. You're like, boom. But let's keep in mind, like I said, too much fire isn't always a good thing. Too much fire is hard to control. Okay? So you're feeling good, you're looking good, you're putting good, I'm not even going to say you're necessarily putting good out there, because right now you're a little bit self-absorbed. And there's nothing really wrong with being proud of yourself, loving yourself, and don't be superficial though, okay? Be about you for the right reasons to be about you. Right now, you're not really going towards any. If you came out of a breakup, Cancer, you're not really looking to get back into a relationship, but the type of energy you're giving me right here is, dare I say, fuck buddy, okay? This is somebody who, like, right now, you've got that energy of, like, come and go. Like, thank you, ma'am, bye. Okay? I enjoy. Let's see if, we're gonna be a little bit dirty. Let's just see what kind of outcome this is gonna give you. So I can see if I can give you some advice on this. Because that's a lot of fire coming in, but you know, I'm not seeing this as being exactly what you want as much as I see it as being a response to something. Alrighty. So, 5 of Cups in the reverse. You're not, okay, yeah, you're tired of crying over spilled milk, in other words. You're tired of, you know, things not being balanced for you. You've got 2 of Pentacles in reverse as the underlying energy. Past residual energy. Maybe something happened in your past lover, family issues, whatever the case may be. So now you've got some stuff going for you. You're making some things happen, and you're like just not caring. But this come what may attitude, you know, candles burn down to nothing. You know, fire burns down to ash. So just be kind of careful with things, okay? You've also got the Death card right here. You could be dealing with a Scorpio. And if you're dealing with a Scorpio, I'm just kidding. But if you're dealing with a Scorpio, you know, this is somebody that, you know, you felt, this is somebody that you went through a substantial amount of change with. You know, this could be somebody from your past, if that is the case. But, you know, there's new transition coming in for you. You're trying to rebirth yourself. You're trying to come into a new sense of, like, what happened in the past doesn't define me. And it doesn't, but keep in mind that it was your past for a reason, and you have things you need to learn from it. And if you don't learn from your past, you'll repeat your past. No matter how fiery you are, I mean, you could have been lame as shit last year and never left your house, never went out and did anything, never had any fun, never really, like, did yourself up, never cared about yourself or anything like that, and all of a sudden now, you're like, this is my year, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and make sure that I get my hair did, and I'm going to go make sure I have the, you know, I'm going to invest in me, I'm going to have great clothes, I'm going to, you know, do all this and that and blah, 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 and I'm going to live my best life. That's great and dandy and all, but, you know, don't overblow your load. Don't worry about, like, because the past made you feel that way, so you're going to go and do all this exciting new fiery things that later on is going to land you in debt, your responsibility, you know, like I said, scorched earth, you know, where you're like, I peeled out of the parking lot and blew out my tires. That type of energy, okay? You're so quick to, like, just go and do it that you're not really worried about the repercussions of it. And when we don't do that, and we don't think like that, we end up doing what? We have some place called Regretville, and, you know, you don't want to start off on that type of foot. So if you're going into this being like, no, I'm just going to feel better about myself, awesome. You know, nothing wrong with that either, but on the flip hand to it, you know, you need to be a little bit more grounded. Okay, just kind of ground yourself in that energy too. Be aware of what you're doing. Don't sit there and be like, nah, I'm here to drop the tires and light the fires. Like, no. That's somebody who's like, I just want to do a whole bunch of, and run through red lights and be promiscuous and, you know, like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. You're going to end up with some stuff in your back pocket that you didn't need. So Cancer. Yeah. On the Leo. I must be allergic to live streams because my nose always itches when I do a live. It might be like my nerve tick. I don't know. Alrighty. Messages for our Leos for the new year. Going into the new year. Messages for Leo. What I think is hilarious when I do New Year's readings is seeing the death card come up so much. Because, you know, everybody tends to want that new beginning or that new energy. And when the death card comes up, isn't that synonymous with like New Year's and like, oh, my new resolution and new me and all that? I think it's funny. Okay? Because it came up again right here, right at the center of the read. Your underlying energy is Two of Cups. So Two of Cups is that cosmic alignment with someone, something. It's usually heavily emotionally based, being that it is cups. So soulmate energy. Because that's what people say, oh, the Two of Cups, that's your soulmate. I don't really deal with soulmates because I think that they've gotten such an inflated reputation. Soulmate, your cat could be your soulmate. Your best friend could be your soulmate. You can have several soulmates in your life. So when people sit there and they hear soulmate, they tend to think like, oh, this is the person I'm meant to be, and when that doesn't always align like that or the way that they anticipate, because we Hollywood and glamorize this whole soulmate thing to be that, you know, you're happily ever after or whatever. We don't let the universe do what it needs to do, and we try to play God with that a little bit, and it never works out. So when I say soulmate, you keep in mind that this is something that you are extremely passionate about. It doesn't have to be a person specifically, but it also does not have to be a lover when it has to be, when it is a person. It has to be a person when it is a person. So, Six of Wands in reverse. So, we're not feeling too good. We're not being our norm. Going into this new year, you haven't, or coming out of last year, going into this year, you might have gone through a lot of heavy stuff to where you're just really not feeling all that great about yourself. You're not feeling as, you know, confident as you usually did, because the Six of Wands, you know, that's somebody that's like on a parade, you know, they're just like, hello, and you're like the opposite of that right now. So you're like, no, my confidence isn't where I need to be. You're just trying to, you've got the Justice card right here, you've also got the World card, you got three major arcanas right next to each other right here. So there's a lot of like serious, like written in stone type energy. So Justice to the World in reverse. So cycles. What has happened in your past keeps happening because you keep repeating cycles, okay? You don't let things end that are meant to end. Quit digging in the trash can and expecting to find, you know, the latest treasure, okay? You know, if you're going to go, sometimes you can find treasures in dumpsters, though, so that wasn't the best analogy. But if you're going to go digging through dirty diapers, you're going to be bringing out a lot of what we call poop. And that's what I'm seeing from right here, is that you keep going backwards, thinking either you can fix it or it wasn't as bad as you thought it was. You keep trying to go back and drink spoiled milk here. And thinking that if you do that, you will it'll have a more profitable future. No. It doesn't. Temperance right here. Actually, you had 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana. I didn't even notice that. So temperance, you ain't got patience for nothing. You ain't got patience for nothing. You're not balancing it out. Ooh. And you wonder why your future's all a huge mess, Leo. I mean, come on now. Like, the look of frustration right here. Leo, I know you're a flashy flash most of the time. And even on this Two of Cups, you got your little lion right here. You're trying to become aligned with things that you're letting your passions and emotions drive you into everything. This right here is one of those situations that I see is it probably has to do with love. It probably has to do with residual love. Maybe your person or your past just didn't love you. Maybe it was best that you moved on, best that they moved on. But have you really moved on? It does not seem that way. And you're not giving yourself the time and space or anything to move on. Let us clarify. Y'all making me need a second deck up here for this stuff. Alright, let's clarify this death card real quick. Six of Pentacles in reverse, Four of Cups in reverse. You screwed up and you missed your opportunity. That what happened? Okay, it wasn't the way you wanted it to. It wasn't equal give and take and all that nonsense. And, not nonsense, but, not. I get it. You cheated on somebody because you sat there thinking that, if this has to do with a relationship, you cheated on someone and you're hoping to reconcile these differences. That is a strong message that I'm getting through this, because this is a lot of I'm not over anything. I got what I deserved, but you have not moved on from this. And you know what? Yeah, that other person may be willing to forgive, but they don't forget. And there was a lot of qualities about you that they liked, that they really enjoyed, but you know what, it's probably not enough, and not enough time has occurred, not enough emotion, there's not enough healing that has occurred for this to reconcile the way it needs to. Now, there is a strong connection here. This could be a spouse, this could be, a person that you've invested a lot into, but I will tell you this much, they know a lot about your past, things like that, but I will tell you this, because it was so heavy and there was so much there, the fact that you basically did an about face and destroyed it by having this what you deemed as an accident or a temporary backslide or whatever the heck it was, the fact that you were able to let it be backslid so easily, let that other person feel as though they were disposable. Okay? And having so much history and so much written in stone here, that was a horrible slight against them. So going into this year, you wanting to improve yourself, you wanting to, do the right things or anything like that, you need to do the right things because you need to become the right person. For you, for the world that you're trying to create for yourself, not for just one, thing or one person. You need to make some changes in you, because if you go back to this person, go back to this, whatever the situation may be, and you keep, repeating these behaviors, you're just going to keep hurting the person you claim to care about, keep damaging the things that you claim to value and enjoy. So there is a lesson learned for both parties, most specifically for you, Leo. Alright? So if you're going to make the changes need to absolutely be for you, because those are the only ways you're going to be able to sustain that change. And until then, you are not good for that other party, you're not good for that other situation, whatever the case may be, even though that is something that you do need to fix, because the universe is aligning you to fix it. And it's giving you that opportunity and time and space to do so. Virgo. Virgo. What's coming for Virgo in this week to come, this new year to come? Let's see what foot Virgo's getting off on in this new year. Maybe they don't get off on feet. That's kind of fetishy. Right, babe? You don't like feet. Fluff is the anti-foot. I have videos of him gagging because I asked him to rub my feet. And he's like, I just don't like feet. And I was like, way to make my feet feel disgusting, dude.
I don't mind feet. It is, they have to be clean and taken care of.
My feet are well taken care
That's
of.
what I'm saying.
Amy, I told you that I broke my camera that I had. Speaking of, I'm dedicating this Virgo reading to the one and only Miss Amy from What Paranormal. If you are not subscribed, please take a moment to do so. And while you are there, you want to go get one of these really cool hoodies because they are very comfortable. And I got two little ghost sisters. Ooh, I'm flipping off the camera. And I got two little ghost sisters right here, and I love them. I call them the twins over the twins. And you need one of those too. I don't know if this reading will even be about Amy, but I'll still dedicate it to her nonetheless. She's been my sister that's been jumping up and down during the readings and stuff while she's at work. So, let's see what messages we have for the Virgos coming in. No, you get back in there. You flew out being nonsense there. I dropped some cards and they wanted to act like they wanted to play. See what's going on here. Two more cards from Virgo. Dang, did you need every card to fly out? I mean, yeah. Ooh, 3 of Wands. I only asked for 2, and then to go give me 3. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Temperance to the Empress card. Ace of Cups in reverse, 2 of Wands, and 2 of Cups to the 10 of Pentacles. Okay. Okay. So, Virgo, you spent a lot of time last year balancing out things in your life and having patience, doing that learning. I'm gonna let things be what they are. Okay, it happened the way it happened. It did what it did. You know, I'm gonna let it empower me the best way I can. But it didn't quite work through the emotions, did you? You didn't quite. Here's the situation I'm going to give you. You were so busy that you kind of accepted things as they came instead of, you know, taking those 10 minutes to really cleanse the soul, to really cry things out, to really enjoy things, to really, you know, understand, to really let your soul align with what was progressing in your life or what was occurring in your life. You have the Two of Wands in the upright right next to the Two of Cups in reverse. So if what was going on in your life, the situations and stuff going on in your life was taking a toll on any romantic relationships, anything that you, not romantic or not romantic, but substantial relationships in your life, now is the time this year to really invest in them. Okay, you've got the Ten of Pentacles right here. So what I'm seeing with is if you didn't get a lot of time with your spouse, because, or maybe coming into this year you might not see as much time with your spouse because of work. Two of Cups in reverse, Ten of Pentacles. So this may be somebody, this may mean that your spouse is coming into the new year. Okay, remember we're sticking towards the beginning of this year. They might be starting off the new year working really hard, and it's, you've got some time away from them right now. Okay, so you're still going into the new year. You're still in this mode of come what may. Let's see what happens. Goal sets. You're not really fixating on any goals or anything right away, Virgo, because like I said, you're kind of taking the values from what has occurred and applying it to make goal. Like essentially, if you were going to make any goals, it would be just, okay, last year taught me a lot. I'm going to just apply what it taught me going forward. And right now, that's where your vision is. It is not so much on a person, place, thing. I'm not going to make all this tons of money. I'm not going to plan these elaborate vacations. I mean, the things you already are planning are the things that you're focusing on. You're not really too entertained with the idea of adding a lot more to your plate. Like if you have travels planned, you're sticking to those. You're not like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and plan for this trip to, Tahiti or anything like that. You're not going to go gung-ho into something that is really outside of your scope. Okay? That's not what you're doing here, Virgo. What you're doing is like, you know what? I've got a lot of cups flipped upside down. I've got a lot of things that I haven't dealt with emotionally. And because of that, like, you're kind of at an emotional standstill. Nothing's too up here, but nothing's too down here. Even though there is some fragileness with some things going on, okay? And I think you're like, I need to just sip from my cup easily and evenly, and I'm going to work with things as they come into my world. You've also got the Three of Wands, so it's as much as you are like looking at the future, you're not too like, I've got to move. Like you're this is somebody who's like that's what you're kind of doing, and there's a lot out there, there's a lot that you've been through, there's a lot coming forward, but it is not something that you're like, I'm gonna just there's no fire here, there's no wands here, there's not a lot of fire energy, so there's not a lot of this strong forward movement. There's you do have wands, but it's not a lot. It's more of that like beginning of type energy, so it's that like look and observe and figure out where we're going. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. I do just want to, I know that right now, there's some voids because of, the partnership or something is away working, or there's a severance because somebody is working or something is working. So let's just get a little bit of clarity on there, because that can kind of feel weird sometimes. You're not used to this type of, you're used to it, but you're not. Not at this juncture right here, okay? All right, so Ten of Swords in reverse, worst part's over, okay? It's not always going to hurt like this, all right? Okay, you got the Lover's card, you've got the Star card, this is all fine, okay? So if you've had some moments with the spouse that have you've kept them to yourself, you're like, look, nobody kind of knows that it's been a little rocky, anything like that, all right? It was rocky because that was just the terrain you were going through. It wasn't because the relationship was rocky, okay? It sucked because it kind of, with this Hermit in reverse, it kind of clouded your vision. You were like, I don't know. This is kind of, I'm getting an I don't know moment out of this. Like, I don't know what this is, The Ten of Swords tells me that it's, whatever it was that was bad, it's staying back there. You're done. You know, that's kind of what I'm seeing with that. All right. So, Virgo, whatever it is that you are going through, it was temporary. You know, it's not temporary, but um, the current thing that you're going through going into the new year, I want you to kind of keep in mind that, you know, does absence make the heart grow fonder? You know, yes, but it's one of those where it's like, yeah, it makes the heart grow fonder, but you know, the why I have to go through this, you know. I'm tired of having the absence and I'm tired of my heart growing fonder, you know. But it's a necessary portion of what you're going through, okay? And it is definitely necessary for you to take the time away, that your partner is away to really work on your emotions and where you're at. So find the blessing and the curse of knowing, like, okay, so at this moment, I'm going to do some more meditating. I'm going to do some more prayer. I'm going to do some more spiritual growth. I'm going to do the things that I didn't have time for me because they're away working. Okay? Or that's situations in the works over there, so now I'm going to be able to take this time off to really kind of go through what I need to go through it. And that's the better benefit for you in the beginning of this coming year, is to just, you know, like I said, these readings are more geared towards this week going into the beginning of January. And that's what I'm seeing from this. So taking that time away, well, and this could be you that's working too, Virgo. It doesn't have to be the partner. It could be that you're taking that time away, and maybe you're feeling that drift. And you know, this could be something that, you know, you being away gives your partner that time to kind of deal with them. But whatever the case may be, it is a productive one. So it is not going to harm anybody. It's not going to harm anything. I don't see breakups or anything as a result of that. All right? So, you know, God had a plan, the universe had a plan, and the plan is going to be okay. So just take the time to really invest in you. And take the time to really invest in the things that, you know, maybe those lost, like I said, while that's going on, taking that time to really invest in those kind of lost hobbies or anything. Or taking that time to really realize where your emotions are and where they're going and stuff like that. Good things. Both really good things. Okay, so from Virgo, we're into Libra. Hello. I have really small hands, so there are moments when cards just go every which way. You ain't breaking up with no damn food. Now hush yourself. You still need food. You can break up with sugar, because I need to break up with sugar too. Alright. Libra. And I'm not talking about anybody in particular. It was in the chat and I saw it. I caught you. Okay, Libra. Let's see what we got going on coming into the new year for our Libra gang. One more card for our Libras. Alright, your underlying energy for the reading, Libra, is the Queen of Swords. So coming into your understanding of why things are, understanding of what, you know, you have a strong sense of, you know what you're fighting for, okay? And you know what you're defending. You know that you are willing to defend. You're very sharp-minded. You're in the place that you need to be, in coming into this situation. So the Hermit, so using our wisdom to understand something. Six of Cups in the reverse, Eight of Pentacles in the upright, Judgment in reverse, and King of Pentacles in reverse. So you're trying not, you're trying not to remember the past so much going into the future. You're trying to let things kind of go. You're trying to work through remnants of your past going into the new year. That's something that you've been really wanting to work on, is to stop carrying old energy into the new year. Like, you kind of want to let things go. I'm getting a lot of messages of, like, I don't want to be afraid. I don't want to live in fear. I don't want to have, this past baggage. Okay, so maybe this year the big thing for you is to be more informed. And that's something that you're wanting to work towards, is being informed. And you're working towards it, right? But you feel like with the Judgment in reverse, Knight of Pentacles in reverse, dare I say, somebody feels like, they're having a hard time trusting things. They're having a hard time trusting information as it's coming to them. So communication is going to be coming up. You are going to be getting, with this Eight of Wands energy, good, strong, fast communication. So resolution towards things from which you're having these feelings of, I'm having this mistrust. I'm not really wanting to carry forward with any one thing, because you're where you're weighed down, you're waiting for that resolution to kind of let you go forward. And it is coming. It definitely is coming. So you may get some communication from somebody in your past, and it kind of helps. Somebody might bring you that, like, aha moment, or that moment of reflection, or whatever, that kind of helps lift you out of that, cut you from that anchor that's holding you down, that type of energy. So that's the big thing for you that I'm getting, is you've had a lot of stagnation. You've been, very recluse. You've been within yourself, and you've had a lot of time to do, kind of reflect and deduce what's going on in your world. And now you're trying to come forward, but like I said, your trust isn't, you got some trust issues, and that's kind of halting you a little bit. So let's clarify this Judgment card real quick. Okay, Libra. Yeah, that residual past energy. You're really trying to balance yourself out. You're trying to move forward, but this whole reading is you holding on to the past. You got the Ten of Swords in reverse. So all that pain that you've experienced from whatever that past issue was, you're really trying to balance yourself on it. You really do want to be emotionally fulfilled, and it is coming. It's in reach. But you really gotta do the work. You really have to do what it takes. Okay, that's a big thing. And you feel lied to. You feel like you have the shittier hand here. But you know what? That happens sometimes. That really does. It happens. Sometimes things don't go in our favor. They don't go the way we want them to go. The reason it doesn't go the way we want it to go is because that's not the path. That's not the direction of the path we're on that we needed to take. You needed to go through this other obstacle in order to come out to that ends that you were looking for. So it's not as simple as like point A to point B. Sometimes you need to do point A, B, C, D, E, F, and then you might get where you need to go from there, because you need to pick up the lesson that happens along the way, so that we don't make circles and cycles. And yeah, you're having a hard time with deceit, being lied to, somebody bearing false tongues, false circumstances, something like that, and it's been really painful, and you're still holding on to it a great deal. Don't take that pain with you into the future. Work your way through it. Okay, don't carry. like I tell a lot of people, you know, don't carry bags that are too heavy. Start taking stuff out of them. Okay? You're not going to get very far with heavy luggage. Have you guys ever seen the movie Spaceballs, where they're carrying her huge ass luggage through the desert, and he was like, alright, what the hell's in this thing? And he pulls it out and it's her big ass hair dryer. And he was like, I said take only what you need to survive. And she's like, it is my blankety blank hair dryer and I can't live without it. And he was like, you want this hot air machine? You carry it. And she's like, pick it up. And he's like, you pick it up because I ain't doing it. And that's what you kind of need to tell yourself. Is like, what the fuck am I carrying this for? And when you tell yourself, but I need it to survive. Do you? The only thing you really need to survive is food, water, and air. And that's what you'll survive with. And I got the whole group going off on Spaceballs now, which I knew I would. But, you know, yes, and you might need toilet paper or a sock or something. You know, or leaves. Some people use leaves or corn husks. But that's a whole different department. But you don't need to hold on to things that only serve you a negative connotation. So if you're going to sit there and hold on to something, be like, I'm holding on to this memory, I'm holding on to these systematics, I'm holding on to this this thought, this whatever the case may be, because it allows me to hold on to this person, it allows me to hold on to whatever, but all it does is bring you horrible, hard feelings that make you like paralyzed in grief or fear or anything like that. If you carry those things, they're basically digging you a hole that you're standing into, and you're wondering why you're not going anywhere, you know, because the weight is just pushing you down, and it's just voiding you out, and, you know, you don't need to be doing that, you know, that doesn't help anybody, you know, you gotta dig out those things, that's why we gotta work through our pains, that's why we gotta work through our emotions, you know, we gotta work through the things that we have things that we've put ourselves into, and we gotta be able to, you know, escalate ourselves. Sometimes you have to dig yourself out. Sometimes you have to figure out what is too heavy. Anyway, Libra. So, yeah, you've got a lot going on. You have a lot of trust issues. You're not sure. The uncertainty of your situations is the weight that's going to keep you in those situations. Alright? So, work your way through. Just work your way through, you know, one step at a time. Nobody's asking for miracles, nobody's asking for dramatic changes, but, you know, and honestly, nobody's asking. But you need to do it for you. And so that you don't have to sit there and feel like, you know, the world's constantly caving in. And if people are bearing false tongue and if they are lying to you, it's not going to matter a whole lot because you're going to be too busy doing your own thing that it's not going to matter to you. Okay? Alrighty. Scorpio. Scorpio already not wanting her message. Over here messing with cards. Okay. Alright, Scorpio. What messages do we have for you coming into this new year? Stop right there. Messages for Scorpio. Scorpio worried about something. Scorpio's always worried about something. I love my Scorpio. They worry too damn. That's that fixed sign stuff. So that's what they do is they worry. They sure do worry. That's exactly what. I love Scorpios, I really do. Four of Pentacles, so balancing out. You're having a hard time balancing out work. Balancing out life with work. Work is kind of made shit off balance is what I'm getting from here. Things working with stuff makes it off balance. This is going to be a different message for each Scorpio, I can tell you that right away. So, Five of Swords, contemplating forward movement, contemplating things that need to occur going forward. Really preponderance right here. And you've also got the Four of Swords behind or next to this one, so going backwards. So this is second guessing yourself. Then you have Seven of Swords, so you've got a lot of sword energy here in the beginning. Seven of Swords is, what I'm getting right here is that whole all work no play makes Jack a dull boy type mentality right here. But you're inside of your head a lot, Scorpio. And then I see this Ten of Cups in reverse, right here next to the King of Wands. So this is for a particular Scorpio right off the bat, but this can apply. Certain elements of this is going to apply to all Scorpios, but relying on your happiness, on the idea of being something specific in this world, okay? You do not have to be this amazing person all the time, okay? It's actually quite fucking draining, alright? To be something, to be... Wonderful thing about Scorpios is they're fixed signs and they don't like to change for shit, okay? They really don't. When they have a goal, that is the goal, which is the goal and the goal and the goal, alright? And Scorpios, I love them to death. Like I said, I used to be married to one. And, I loved him to death at one point. And this guy taught me a lot about life because he was so fixated on stuff all the time. I couldn't understand why a Scorpio or a person in general could be so fixated on things. And they fixate, they fester, they sit there and go, and then when they get mad, Scorpios, they're hilarious. They're either Tasmanian devils, tear the whole fucking house up, or they will sit there and go, fine. And that's how they are. And they'll go and play video games for hours or binge watch something. They have to get their mind off of what they can't control. Okay? Is there anything wrong with that? No. But it is something where you'll sit there and go, damn, like, they're sitting there and they're just like, because you almost confuse yourself for not caring, like they don't care. They do, they just blew out a head gasket because they can't control something. Alright, so Scorpio, you do not have to be this flashy, amazing, almighty, I've got to be this way, I have to have the control, I have to have, if I don't have the attention on me or the attention the way I need it to be, then I'm not good enough, okay? This shit right here does nothing but make you insane, Scorpio. You are more than allowed to worry about shit, you're more than allowed to run around in sweatpants and a t-shirt, you are more than allowed to drive, a Toyota Corolla, okay? You don't have to drive the most expensive car in the world, okay? You're more than allowed to do those things. No discrediting Toyota Corollas, I like them, but I'm just saying, you don't have to flashy, flash all the time in order to be a successful human being. And a lot of Scorpios think that way. You also don't have to believe just because you're having a hard time that your spouse is going to go find somebody new, okay? Your spouse didn't love you and marry you and they're not with you because you were the flashiest thing in the world. That may have gotten their attention, but that is not what kept them, okay? And it is not what's going to keep them. Looks change and they fade. Things change and progress and fade. Okay, that's what life is. Nothing gold can stay. If you're, familiar with Robert Frost, but you need to remember that within yourself that it may have been this that caught the attention, but it is definitely this that keeps the attention. And Scorpios have an amazing heart. They really, 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 really do. They are water signs. They are very emotional, even though they don't ever want to seem as such. So, living in your head a lot this month, Scorpio, is living in your thoughts going into this new year of like, I need to be amazing. I need to be amazing. You are amazing. Okay? That's one thing a Scorpio needs to remember is they are very amazing. And that's what's going on here a lot with you, Scorpio, is you're having moments of like, good enough. Is my work paying off? Am I investing into this properly? Is this where I really, it's that mentality of like, am I where I should be in this world? Like, is this really what I should be investing in my time? Should I try something else? It's not moving as fast as I would like, or, shit like that, okay? And the fact that when you take steps, and the fact that if a Scorpio takes a step backwards, oh hell goes on. But the fact that you have had some back steps, you're not moving forward as fast, things like that, you're like, you feel defeated. You feel like you don't have the upper hand. There's moments like that for you. And that's Four of Pentacles. Money issues are hard for Scorpios. They very much are. And they will do everything they can to come out of money issues. And sometimes that means like, I've got to go into work mode, I've got to detach from emotional mode. And, they kind of, when they go, it's like going to the gym and they're like, if I'm doing legs, I'm only on legs right now. I can't think about arms right now because I have to worry about my legs. If it's arm day, like they are hyper focused. And, if they have a goal, they set their goal that way. And if something has to deviate or anything like that, they're just like, can you go over there for a while? And I'll worry about that in a minute. That's a lot of us, right? But it's very much so for Scorpios. And that's what I'm getting a lot in this reading, okay? So just because you have to take time off to focus on a physical thing, like a physical job, that's about you right now, that's okay. Your people around you, spouse, friends, lovers, they understand more than you think they do, okay? Your time away is their time for them. That's the way you need to think of it, Scorpio. And also right here, you're not backsliding. You didn't fuck up, okay? Because you need to do something. You need to work on something. You need your focus where you need to be. That your spouse, lovers, friends, family, all of them understand, or they should understand, okay? And you can't carry the weight for all their emotions and compensate and do all that. You sometimes just have to do you. And to all those that are, if any sign is with this Scorpio, trust me, their heart is with you, and you know that. But they've got to do, then they've got to handle their responsibility. So that is where this message is coming into the new year. So this is probably something that's more for the spires of the Scorpios, or the person who's spying on them, is you need to realize that they're going through their process right now. They're going through what they need to be going through. They're focused on what they need to focus on in order to manifest something that is fruitious for them, for you, for whoever. And that's what I'm seeing from this. And they care about how you feel? Yes, you might get confused that they don't, because they are not, they can kind of detach from emotion to hyper focus on a goal set. And that's what I'm seeing from this. So don't let that interfere with what you know to be true. Okay? What you know to be true about this particular Scorpio. Okay? Hopefully that message came through loud and clear. Even if it was confusing, I'm sure to the right people, it is going to be pretty darn clear. And for those that it's not, take what you can and leave the rest. If it did not resonate, it is not your story, and that's okay too. Check back next week. Go back to a previous read. They may make sense now when they didn't before. Alright, Sagittarius. Messages for Sagittarius for the new year. Coming into the new year. guys are going to laugh at me one day when you can actually watch me shuffle. It's rather hilarious. Because I have such small hands, so it hurts sometimes. So I'm like doing this. It's fun. Fun in Sagittarius. I don't like me talking about their shuffles. Sagittarius. They had a lot to say right away. One more card. And there it is. Seven of Cups is the underlying energy. So, alright, so what I'm going to get from that in culmination with, okay, so we also have Three of Cups right here. So working together despite obstacles, okay? Despite having choices, despite having to worry about things, you need to remember that, you know, you're in good, you're in a good group setting here, all right? You got people that are going to help you through, so let's just keep that as the focus right away. So I have Knight of Swords in reverse. The Knight of Swords in reverse is usually my spy card. It's somebody spying on you. To the Hierophant in reverse. Okay. To the Sagittarius that is pregnant right now. Your ex is a problem. You might be pregnant and broken up, and this guy is spying on you hardcore. This person is spying on you hardcore. Now, this could be a man who has a new woman and pregnant, and the ex is being a shit. But this could more likely is a woman whose ex is like, hey, you know, I'm spying. I don't want to assume the responsibility of a baby, but I'm going to see what you're up to. All right. Seven of Wands in reverse. They're just not willing to, you know, yeah, they're spying on you and everything, and yeah, the daddy is who you think it is. All right. You know who it is. And they're just not ready to man up. You got the Six of Pentacles in reverse, but you got the Seven of Wands with it. This person is just not ready to do what you need them to do. But you've got more than enough support in your life, and you've got more than enough options in your life that I hate telling somebody that you don't need. Like, you know, that a child doesn't really need their other parent. They always do. But do you need their support? You know, you don't. Okay, so this is for that particular Sagittarius that is pregnant. This don't mean you're all pregnant, okay? Some fools running around the chat making laughs. No. This could also mean new beginnings. Who's pregnant? Or who's not pregnant? Somebody said something. Who said it?
Sherry. I didn't even know I was pregnant yet. I'm so happy.
You need to go take a laxative. Don't worry, you're in good hands and you have strong support system. For the Sagittarius, it's not pregnant. Carrie Patrick. Okay, for the Sagittarius that is not pregnant, that is just constipated. This can also mean new beginnings. So, in the sense of where you were not seeing the forward movements that you needed to see, that you had stuff that, this is more so you had obligations in your past that you no longer have, okay? There was something that you were committed to that you no longer have that commitment to. This isn't like a breakup. It's just like I said, you had a commitment that you had to focus on that you no longer have to focus on. You have a new beginning right now, going into this year, new beginnings. Job prospects. You don't have anything holding you back, so a new job prospect is coming. And it's actually going to come, you're going to have a couple options of what you need to do, or what you can do. And you need to kind of pay attention to what those options are. So whether that is something of, oh, I'm going to take this job because it's closer, may have a lesser pay, but the lesser travel is an incentive. Or you may have a job like, yeah, I'm going to be making more money, but I'm going to have to be doing this type of labor or this type of work. But either way, this is, it's fine. It's going to balance itself out. You got Six of Pentacles, energy, equal give and take. So this is something that's going to be good for you, pocketbook wise, but also good for you, mind, body, spirit wise. And that is for the particular ones that are pregnant. Okay. Meaning King Jared TV is in fact pregnant, and it is not Laura's. It is somehow my wonderful fiance made his way to Tennessee and has knocked up Jared. And yeah, did you hear all that? Congratulations, you're going to be a daddy.
No.
You're going to have a royal baby.
No. Jared's having puppies.
Oh, he's having puppies? What kind?
He's...
That's not nice. This is why we can't have nice things. Y'all in there having puppies in the chat room. All right, Sagittarius, let's get some clarity on this new beginning for you. That isn't a baby. It is not a baby. For some of you, it might have been. For some of you, it was a Doritos Tacos local combination. Okay. So the new beginning came from a change, a dramatic change. Okay. So coming out of this obligation, there was a dramatic change. Something ended in order to promote this new beginning. Okay. And it could have been something that you weren't anticipating. You've got the Eight of Pentacles here. It was something that you really had to... It was hard to experience this change, okay? Sometimes this could be from, when we lost a job, but we're getting a better job. Sometimes this could be a move. You had, losing a home, but moving to a place where, there are more possibilities for you. Things like that. Having those sudden, this is one of those sudden changes. And, it was a change that, may have not have been anticipated in the way that it came, when it came, how it came, that type of energy. And it wasn't something that you were ready to have to make that change for at that time, even though mentally you maybe had been preparing for it. But with, with the dawn comes a new day, and you have this wonderful new beginning that you are being able to resurface out of, that is actually going to create a sense of balance within your systematics. So Sagittarius, you coming into this new year, you have, a lot that's going to promote you in the fulfillment sense. It's a recreating of you. It's a new opportunity for you. With that, you're always going to have that residualness in you, but it's actually going to be a driving factor for you, okay? It's actually going to help promote you. It's sometimes where sadness, the memories of the sadness, remind us to feel the happiness. If we didn't have the sad, the happiness wouldn't feel as good. So with that big change, with that unexpected big change, that new beginning, you really definitely need to take that opportunity to understand, where that energy came from, things like that, but it's beneficial to you. And I think you are already starting to feel it. Okay? Capricorn. Our wonderful Capricorn season. What messages do we have for Capricorn going into the new year? only got 3 more signs to go, guys. I appreciate everybody who has stuck by, was talked about having puppies, you know, all of that. Okay, Capricorn. Messages for Capricorn. One more. Six of Cups in reverse. Trying not to remember the past. That's, typical Capricorn. We're stubborn as hell. We don't like to, we don't like things that have hurt us and bothered us. We don't like those things sticking around a whole lot. But, that sometimes we kind of got to sit in the pains. We kind of got to sit in the memories so that we know, like, we can work through things. Alright, so unfortunately, Capricorn, you've got some work that is coming up. Got some memories coming up. You got to deal with some stuff. Queen of Swords in reverse. So, oh yay, here the bitchiness shows up, right? Ace of Cups in reverse. You've got the Nine of Wands in reverse, Two of Pentacles, and the Six of Wands in reverse. So lots of fiery energy. Dominantly fiery energy right here, but it's not good fiery energy. Like, you're no longer having to battle your way through things anymore. You're completing this sense of balance, but it's, the years have taken their toll on you. Don't take bad feelings from past relationships, from past experiences, and bring them into your future. Don't let those be the weaves and ways that you are doing things now, even though that's a typical Capricorn trait. We kind of go into survivor mode, okay? And that survivor mode, we tend to wear it on our tongue a lot. And so we can speak kind of bitchy when all we are doing is going into, we're basically going into protection mode, and we'll tell you, like, fuck out of my face, I don't want to deal with you, because it's overwhelming, and we tend to not be emotional. Capricorns tend to not be as emotional. People can say that they're not emotional, very controlling. The Devil card is a signifier for Capricorn. So they tend to go, nope, it has to go this way, cannot go this way, but more of the earth type grounding energy, so very much to do with money and finances and things like that. So what I'm getting from this is, that residual energy from past, from breakups. You got that Ace of Cups in reverse. It's draining on you coming into this year, and you're not, we've also got, Venus retrograde. So it's one of those things where you question things. You question the authenticity of relationships, of investments, of things that you care about. How genuine is it? How authentic is it? And the way a Capricorn's manifesting it is in the sense of, like, I'm going to test you. I'm going to test you, almost a negative connotation. And, your partner is with you because they care about you. They love you for who you are, not for what you think you need to be. Okay? And that's a deep one. That's something that's deep-seated with a lot of people. It's not just a Capricorn thing. But, you got to be in good with a Capricorn. Once you're in good with a Capricorn and in deep with them, like, they are the most loyal people in the world. It's just hard to get in deep with them from both sides of the coin. It's hard to love them sometimes, but it's also, hard for them to allow you to love them. So once you've met all the prerequisites, it's a very intense, deep, meaningful, genuine relationship with them, both platonically and spiritually. Well, that's your own fault, Jared. have a ginger ale, and a smile. So it's a Capricorn will definitely defend you to no end. I get that Queen of Swords energy right there. They defend their flock to the utmost. But right here, it's, you know, having to constantly go to battle, having constantly to defend yourself. Things like that, it's difficult, you know, where you sit there and you're like, why do I always have to defend me? And I get that way a lot where, you know, I start giving up, I start spewing, you know, not so savory things, not so positive things, because it's like, dude, I'm so sick and tired of having to defend me. You know, that type of energy, you know, and it doesn't always make us look amazing. We don't always feel good doing it, you know, but and it's not that energy of like, this is how I've always been. It's, we'd rather not be that way. But, and I get that from this, is, you know, you'd rather not have that energy, and you're trying really hard to let it go. So let's clarify, see where this is going. Let's get some advice moving forward from this for Capricorn. Okay, got that Queen of Pentacles, which is a lot. That's some good Capricorn energy right there. You know, you're doing well for yourself. You're very motherly energy right there. This could mean new job. You got the Emperor in reverse. You stop trying to control everything. Ha! How about that for a Capricorn, huh? Leaving past energy in the past, which is very difficult. Past lovers in the past, past everything in the past. Just leave it there. Stop, you know, things that you thought. You've got a King of Wands, a King of Cups, a Queen of Pentacles, and a Queen of Cups right here. And what I'm seeing this could be parents, this could be people that you know, have superficial authority on you. Don't let them be the judges and definers of things, because they're not. You are your own person. You are definitely cut of your own cloth. And they, you know, authority figures tend to try to dictate who and what you are. And they don't. Okay? They really, really don't. And you need to figure out for yourself who and what you are. And go with it. Okay, that's a big one, is figuring out the who's and what's of yourself, and not needing the support that so many people think they need in order to maintain that for yourself. And that's difficult even for me, you know, when I think like, oh no, I'm Little Miss Independent and everything, but there are times where you do want somebody. You do want to feel validated and cared about, and you do want to share space with people. You kind of want that sense of normalcy too, where you're like, yeah, I'd love to have, you know, the conventionalness, but, you know, a Capricorn, you know, they're stubborn energy, you know. On the flip side of that, you know, some Capricorns can hold some substantial grudges and become very narcissistic in their energy, and they don't want to share space with anybody because they feel that there is no such thing as a space for them to share. You know, they either have to have all the control, or they're just like, bye. So that could definitely be a message for certain Capricorns out there, for people dealing with Capricorns. Okay? Alright, next is Aquarius. Some messages for Aquarius for the new year. Alright. To the Aquarius that's going through court proceedings. You got the Judgment and Justice card next to each other. Let's see. I see things work. Okay, the message I'm giving for those that are going through any type of judicial, legal court, anything like that, judgmental based situations, like it's good for you. What the outcome of it kind of sucks, but it's workable for you. All right, that's the message I'm getting right off the top. To the Aquarian that is having a hard time balancing things going into the new year, I'm going to tell you right now, you need to work a little bit stronger. You need to work on yourself a little bit more. You need to kind of balance out yourself. Stop worrying so much about the input and objective of others, but you need to kind of balance out yourself. Take what is being told to you and about you and work with it to improve yourself. So, take elements of you from the past, things, reminiscent energy, you're kind of thinking about, how things were and how you want things to be. Carry that onward with you as you're going forward and creating this stronger, newer sense of yourself. You've learned a lot from the past couple years and you're definitely willing to apply it, but you kind of need to get into your groove. You need to kind of settle down. You really need to focus on, balancing yourself out, balancing those things, that party sense of you with the more responsible sense of you, that weight and measures type of thing. But I do see you coming forward with a stronger sense of, like, I don't need any one person or thing. I need to kind of just work on me and work on my sense of self, and stop relying or necessitating. And which is really awesome. That is really good, strong, fluctuating energy that'll be actually beneficial for you. So your biggest goal is working, creating a savings for myself, creating a stronger sense of me, and kind of balancing things out. And that's kind of what I see going forward into the new year for you, Aquarius. There's not a whole lot of secondary information right here. This is just very cut and dry, and which is interesting. But Aquarian being that air energy, once you guys get something into your head, you kind of roll the ball with it. So that's what I'm definitely seeing right here. Let me just pull a couple more just to verify and move forward for you. Get that advice moving forward for our Aquarians. Eight of Swords to the Four of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah, balancing out past demons, balancing out things that have restrained you. And that's what I'm definitely seeing you going. This is really positive. This is really awesome. So anything that has restricted you before, you're definitely moving forward with that energy. You're holding on to the good things from the past, things that may have confounded before, but you're taking from that and not letting it take from you, if that makes sense. All right. Moving along to, last but not least, our awesome Pisces. All right. Thank you to everybody who's been here for the last, 2 hours. You awake still, babe? 128 minutes of me reading and trying to help people along in the world. Alright, Pisces. Messages for Pisces for the new year. For this week and going into the take the popped out. Not abandoning your principles. That's good. Struggling with change, though. Okay, Pisces. You don't want to abandon the past stuff, but, sometimes that's what needs to happen. You got the Death card next to the Lover, so maybe you need to kickstart a relationship back up. If you're in a marriage, maybe you need to focus on, reviving it. Maybe you need to focus on reviving your passions. But like I said right here, you know, you have a hard time letting go of things. Seven of Pentacles in reverse is the underlying energy. You know, you spent all this time not working on things, and now you're like regretting that. You know, the Death card does come up a lot. It does come up in a lot of readings, which is that new transition. Like, because we go into New Year's always wanting to revamp from the past. So a lot of that change comes through, and that Death card comes up a lot. A lot of it could be Scorpion energy too. So, Five of Cups in the reverse. You know, you're ten of Wands in the reverse too. So you Pisces, you're like a walking contradiction. You know that? You know, I want to put in the effort, but I don't want to put in the effort. I want to do this, but I don't want to do that. You know, shoot or get off the pot, all right? You know, for the Pisces that are either dealing with a Scorpio or a Gemini, you know, you got a lot to work on in yourself. You're being pretty dang chaotic coming into this year. But you know what? It's because you're carrying, like, you're trying to walk backwards and go forward at the same time, and wondering why you keep hitting, like, stumbling blocks. So, but what I'm seeing right here is, you know, revamping relationship, revamping passions, revamping things, getting a jump start. This could be a second chance in a love or romantic relationship, or a second chance to do with something extremely passionate about. You know, if it's your dream job coming up and you're finally getting that chance to, you know, having that second shot, you know, I do see you like apprehensive to take it because you're like, it was so hard before. But you know what? It was only hard before because you failed to put in the work for it. Okay? So if it's, oh, but I really, really wanted this to happen and it didn't happen. And, you know, it could have been just a goal you had, and you were like, I really wanted this, but it never happened. And it's like, dude, you didn't put in the work for that to happen. You kept telling yourself it wasn't going to happen, and you kept speaking that into the universe, and the universe was like, all right, let's prove him right. Let's prove him with some more, like, this isn't going to happen. Well, sometimes things are just set in stone and are meant to happen. It's meant to be there. It's meant to come into your path. But if you're, like, sitting here in this obnoxious energy of like, you know, yeah, you know, I'm not ever gonna have the chance, or, you know, even though the chances come up for me, I'm just like, you know, oh well, you're finding the negative in every damn thing. And, you know, go ahead and sabotage this situation. It's going to keep coming up in your life, though. It's not going to keep coming up as an opportunity, but it's going to keep coming up as something where you're like, I really fucked that up, or I really screwed that up, or I should have done this, I should have done that. It's going to really give you that sense of, that strong sense of regret. And you have regret coming into this, and you're going to have regret coming out of this because you're not doing the work. And you really need to be focusing on that. This is somebody who's like, you know, I want to have a happy family, but I also want to party and spend all my money gambling. Like, you know, because it's fun and feels good. I'm not saying that that's the case it's happening. Maybe it is for somebody, but it's definitely that kind of like, you know, I want good things, but I want to do bad things in the process of it. I want to be rich, but I want to spend all my money. You know, that type of thing. So you got to figure out where your passions truly are and how passionate you are about them. Okay? Because if you're not, and this is unfortunate. I look at something like this and I see this as being really unfortunate because this could be an astronomically amazing thing. But right now you're too rose-tinted glass or something, that you are just too, something's not aligning right within you for you to understand that this is definitely an opportunity for you. This is definitely a good thing, but you're stuck. You're fixated on something. You're fixated on the blockage. And you need to relieve yourself of that. You need to really, you know, relieve yourself of, you know, just thinking in that negative connotation. You really, really do. Okay? So, you've got good situations coming up for you, Pisces, and you've got stuff that is meant to cross your path. You've got things that are definitely meant for you. But if you're not going to do the work's not going to do itself for you, okay? And you know that. And the new year is meant to bring on new. It just really is. We can stay stuck in residual past energies from not just the last year, but several years, even our lifetime. But every new day is a new beginning. Every new day is something that provides us and allocates us with an opportunity. So long as you have air in your lungs and the ability to continue onward, you have the ability to change. You have the ability to manifest. You have the ability to create. You have the ability for anything you want. And you just have to have the courage and the strength in order to go forward and do it. And every one of these signs have astronomical things coming forward for them in this reading today. But, there's a lot of work to be done, a lot of good things to come, so should you choose to invite it in. But I'm going to go ahead and wish you all the most amazing, no, my cat's clawing the chair, the most amazing 2022, and everybody the most amazing last week of 2021. And I wish everybody happiness, wealth, and success above all. And just know that, all of us have a wonderful support team within each other, and everybody has the ability to make, light out of every heavy. And I want to thank all of my moderators for moderating my chat, being here to support me every week, as you guys always do. It's amazing that anybody would want to sit and listen to me for 2 hours babble on, and to those that sit silently and just kind of listen, I see you, we know you, and we love you, and we support you as well. And yes, please check out What's the Paranormal. Please check out their channel. Please make sure to check out my awesome fiance at Exploring with Fluffy. And also, please make sure to check out Past Life Explorer. Please make sure to check out channels of Explainable Adventures, King Jerry TV, and Queen Laura TV. Please make sure to check out Uncle Butterbuns and all the rest of my awesome blue moderators. Please make sure to check out all those amazing channels, and I will link them in the description box below. There's some amazing channels, amazing content. Most of them are paranormal or exploration based, but they enjoy having their little necromancy card reader over here that can decipher these things every so often. Thank you all so very much. Please drop a comment below and snap that like button, and I will see you all next week.